satellite imagery showing the same thing. A little bit of thin cloudiness starting to move into the valley. We'll have more of that cloudiness starting to come in. You can see a few of those thin clouds over Fresno now. We're still on a warming trend despite the increasing clouds for tonight and tomorrow. We even have a light sprinkle in the forecast for Saturday morning. The rest of Easter weekend will be dry, pleasant temperatures too. I'll have your complete forecast coming up. Ksee 24 News at 11 starts right now.
Local news that matters. This is Ksee 24 News at 11.
Cartels are making money off the backs of our.
Tonight, an exclusive inside look at Operation Killer High, how the deadly drug of fentanyl is infiltrating our communities, and it's barely recognizable. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alexander Balakian.
And I'm Stephanie Barugi, and we begin with a developing story. Nearly 4 months after the deadly shooting of a teenage girl in Sanger, a suspect is now behind bars. Our Juanita Adame joining us in studio with more on the man police believe is responsible for her death. Juanita.
Well, Steph, Sanger police told me that in order to prosecute a murder case, the evidence and the building of that case to present in court must be solid. They took their time on this investigation to make sure that justice was served for Lupe's family. 4 months of hard work led up to this moment right here.
We had an active warrant for that subject's arrest. The officer conducted a traffic stop. Joseph Hernandez, 20 years old, previously of Sanger, but now in Fresno, was taken into custody without incident.
The arrest of the man suspected of shooting and killing 17-year-old Lupe Garcia back in December.
During the course of the investigation, our investigators were able to develop leads that pointed in his direction.
Sanger Police Lieutenant Jason Baust said the car Hernandez drove was known to police. And Wednesday morning, they noticed a car matching it and pulled it over.
Without them and their dedication, this case would not have come to the conclusion that it has.
It was back on December 21st, a few days before Christmas, that Lupe Garcia was shot and killed in the areas of I Street and Almond Avenue in Sanger.
Our officers actually heard the shots being fired. There was some sort of altercation, and she was shot. For purposes of the investigation, we are not releasing all the details at this time.
Hernandez was a known gang member and had an extensive criminal history.
We had multiple prior contacts with him related to various different types of felonies. Like, again, he was a documented Cedeno gang member.
Baust credits the work of their investigators for getting a dangerous killer off the streets.
Since December, our investigators have done a tremendous job. So much search warrants, investigation goes into a case like this, and they, not to use a cliche, but they literally worked nonstop to develop the probable cause and get the evidence they needed. So just a tremendous effort by our investigators.
Hernandez has been booked into the Fresno County Jail on several felony charges, including murder. Live in the studio, Juanita Adame, Ksee 24, local news that matters.
Juanita, thank you. A shocking discovery in Merced tonight. A pedestrian found a body near Highway 99 and the off-ramp at V Street. The Merced CHP says the body appears to have been in a patch of vegetation for a couple of days. The cause of death under investigation, and officers are not ruling out foul play. Because of the condition of the body, there is no word on its gender or identification.
Tonight, a Ksee 24 exclusive, the frightening dangers of fentanyl, a potentially deadly substance being laced into other drugs. Ksee 24 weekend anchor Jennifer Ortega sat down tonight with a detective from Fresno County's Fort team for more on the operation that is cracking down on the deadly drug that's running rampant across the valley.
Detectives say fentanyl in the valley is here to stay, that it could soon become more popular than heroin. They say now it's about stopping the momentum and educating our youth.
When it all comes down to it, it's all about greed and making money. And the cartels are making money off the backs of our kids dying and overdosing.
Detective Dean Carnelli is on Fresno's Fort team. He's one of 10 officers undercover, trying to track down where the fentanyl and laced drugs are coming from.
I get calls all times of the day and night, so you know, and once we get those calls, we get a team together and we go out to the house or the hospital, wherever the victim might be, and we start the case right from there.
The Fort team formed in 2020. It's an acronym for Fentanyl Overdose Resolution Team, after he says the amount of overdoses skyrocketed between the ages of 14 and 21 years old.
We were responding out to like 2 to 4 overdoses a week with kids between that age group.
He says now they're seeing fentanyl mixed in a variety of drugs.
In cocaine, in methamphetamine. We've had some cases here in the United States where it was actually laced in marijuana.
Detective Carnelli says if you don't die the first time, the drug is highly addictive. His team responding to 84 fentanyl overdoses in Fresno in 2020. 34 turned out to be deadly.
And I'm sure we're going to surpass that in 2022 because of the amount of fentanyl that's coming into Fresno.
At the beginning of April, 18 people were charged in Fresno County after a string of overdoses involving fentanyl and methamphetamine trafficking in Operation Killer High. But Fresno County District Attorney Lisa Smitkamp says the penalties for most illegal substances in California have been reduced to misdemeanors. That's why they're working with their federal and local partners.
We really work collaboratively to not only try to prosecute some of these cases federally where we really can people who are dealing these drugs, but we're also very heavily engaged in an education and awareness campaign.
A campaign in schools, on billboards, and even in hospitals across the valley, bringing awareness to the dangers of this silent killer.
The harder it is, the harder I work. Nobody takes an M30 pill or a Xanax pill that could potentially be laced with one of these, with fentanyl, to die. They just want to feed their addiction.
And as fentanyl burns through the younger population, kids are using social media to talk about it and buy it.
As a county prosecutor, as a state prosecutor, I don't have a lot of tools. If we have a very fruitful investigation, yes, we are going to start to proceed on murder charges, murder by poison. But those cases are very difficult to prove because you have to compile a tremendous amount of evidence to prove that the person who sold them engaged in a poisoning act or had an intentional disregard for human life. And those are high standards to achieve.
But Detective Carnelli says fentanyl is not slowing down. Smitkamp says it's become public enemy #1.
I don't think we can actually clean up fentanyl coming into it. It's too late.
This is my #1 priority right now, is fentanyl education and awareness, because it is an instant and silent killer for kids and young adults.
They're working on trying to get Narcan in schools so school nurses will be able to respond to a situation if a child overdoses. In the studio, Jennifer Ortega, Ksee 24, local news that matters.
A 22-year-old man accused of murdering his own parents made a brief appearance in court today. The case against Julian McElhaney was continued until April 28th. He could be facing the death penalty or life in prison without possibility of parole. The Fresno Public Defender's Office says mental health concerns are not out of the question.
In the South Valley, a Visalia man convicted of murdering his girlfriend, 23-year-old Anthony Martin, facing life in prison for shooting his partner of 2 years back in 2019. After she broke up with him, police arrived just minutes after the shooting, but the woman was already dead. Martin was found in his car eating breakfast and then taken into custody. He's set to be sentenced next month.
The city of Tulare will be home to 3 new pot shops with the potential of raking in more than $1 million in tax revenue. 2 years ago, Tulare Mayor Dennis Medeiros voted against cannabis dispensaries, citing a number of concerns, including security. But now new dispensaries are looking to bring in an estimated $1.5 million in sales tax revenue. The mayor hopes to use some of those funds to address other issues in the city.
If we take that money and we use it to solve other problems, as I indicated in the city, then we can turn that into a positive.
The permits still have to go before the council once more before final approval, but construction is already underway for 2 dispensaries at the Tulare outlets.
We'll soon have also in the city of Tulare, they will soon have a new top cop. Police Chief Wes Hensley will be retiring after more than 3 decades in law enforcement. Tonight, the first of 2 community meetings held as the city searches for his replacement. Our Catherine Phillips sat down with Hensley to talk about his career and why having the community's support is critical.
The chief of police says the community's input when it comes to solving crimes and keeping people safe has been so important, which is why he thinks it's valuable to have their input here as well as they decide who should lead the department next.
In any organization, there comes a time when you need to get out of the way so that it can progress, right? And so I'm at that stage in my career.
After over 30 years in law enforcement, Tulare Police Chief Wes Hensley is retiring, and he's looking at the community for help in deciding what kind of leader should serve next.
We serve the community. We can't do our jobs without the community, so it makes sense that the community have some input on what characteristics they want in the next chief.
Wednesday evening was the first of 2 meetings where community members were encouraged to gather and ask questions and give input on the next chief. City Manager Mark Mondell has the final say when it comes to appointing the new chief, but he says because he's only had this role for 6 months, he didn't want to make that call alone. Hensley says there's many challenges the next chief needs to be prepared for, including issues facing the department, like recruitment and retention, as well as issues in the community.
There's a lot of law changes in California that have really made it very difficult for police administrators to provide public safety to the community. There are people that should be in jail that aren't. There are people being released early, and so that creates a problem for all of us. Also, coming up with creative solutions, community-based solutions for homelessness.
Many community members expressed concerns over if the new chief would be coming from the Tulare Police Department or an outside agency, and had questions over what kind of officers were being considered. And while Hensley says he's not making the final decision, he has a few candidates in mind and says the department will be in good hands.
If you got to be a chief of police, you want to do it in a town like Tulare.
The next meeting will be on Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Senior Center. Reporting in Tulare, Catherine Phillips, KC 24, local news that matters.
And still to come on KC 24 News at 11, the prime suspect in yesterday's subway shooting in New York behind bars tonight.
We were able to shrink his world quickly. There was nowhere left for him to run.
How New York police were able to track him down, plus the eerie details about what happened right after the mass shooting.
And hundreds of millions of additional U.S. dollars heading to Ukraine, how that money will be used in the battle against Russian forces.
Your weather headlines for tonight. The warming trend continues even with an increase in clouds tomorrow. I'll be on the lookout for sprinkles on Saturday, but plenty of sunshine for Easter. Your 4-day allergy forecast brought to you by Boz Allergy is going to be in the high. Well, you got a medium day on Saturday. Oak, ash, and juniper, the predominant pollens. I'll have your complete forecast as KC 24 News continues.
I see on KC stories of everyday people making a big difference. I see farmers and ranchers providing food for the nation. The work they do is so vitally important, and that inspires me to make sure they know what to prepare for, from their farm to our tables. We are all connected in the Central Valley. I see what matters. I see local stories making an impact, and I invite you to see it all here every day on KC 24 News.
The 3-row Subaru Ascent. Room for up to 8 passengers. Standard symmetrical all-wheel drive plus up to 27 miles per gallon. Coming from Kelley Blue Book's most trusted and best overall brand for 2021, the 3-row Subaru Ascent. Love is now bigger than ever.
Get to Subaru of Fresno, where every new Subaru comes with complimentary maintenance included.
Tonight, Jimmy has Dua Lipa with a surprise for a special fan.
Oh my God!
Plus, Sam Hewen with dueling Batmans and hashtags, it's a can't-miss found.
That's a chance with Dua!
Tonight.
The weather is changing, grass is sprouting, and flowers are blooming earlier than usual. Boz Allergy knows that colds, as well as COVID-19 and other viruses, have similar symptoms to allergies, asthma, and sinus issues. Take away the guesswork and get proper diagnosis and early treatment before allergy symptoms arrive. There's no need to suffer. Live a full and active life. Contact Boz Allergy today and breathe easier.
KC 24 News is brought to you in part by the Fresno County Superintendent of Schools. Now, AMS certified Chief Meteorologist AJ Fox with your local weather authority forecast.
Well, as promised, we were a little bit warmer today, a little bit closer to what we would call normal, but we were still 66. Both numbers are below average. The average low is 50. The average high for today is 73. We're going to be making progress towards those numbers in the next couple of days. We're at 58 now in Fresno, same in Hanford, 53 in Madera, 54 in Visalia. It's still significantly warmer through most of the valley. Notable exception is Porterville, a couple of degrees cooler, and temperatures are in the 40s there right now. But the breeze generally out of the northwest, only in Lemoore and in Merced is at in excess of 10 miles per hour. Rest of the valley, the wind is pretty much not the issue anymore. Now we see a little bit of cloudiness. You can see it from our valley cam, and those clouds are coming in with no real rain in them. Our skies are going to remain clear on the radar screen, but the satellite picture, it is going to show some clouds starting to come our way. If we look at the northern parts of California, we still have some rain and some snow, and according to Futurecast, this wave is going to pull a little bit further to the south. And I say only a little bit further to the south because it looks like maybe the Bay Area might get some showers, and areas around Yosemite National Park might get some high elevation snow, but we're going to stay dry on the valley floor, even with a little bit of cloudiness is coming our way. And then by this time tomorrow, it'll already be clearing away. 41 tonight in Tulare and Corcoran, 43 in Hanford, Selma 44. Same for San Joaquin, Madera, Mendota, Fireball, all 43, 45 in Merced, 42 for Los Panos. High temperatures in the upper 60s and lower 70s. 67 in Merced. There's a 70 in Mendota, 71 in 5 Points. Coalinga, 70, 72 in Lemoore. Visalia, Tulare, and Porterville, 71, 70 exactly for Delano and for Pixley. Our air quality is going to be in the good range all across the valley floor. And your renewable solar forecast, well, they're up and down with the numbers. You get a cloudy day coming in Thursday, the numbers are down. Friday, clearing skies are back up. Saturday, they're back down again. Tonight, the increasing clouds getting started and on the warmer side again. 46, still a little bit below normal, but warmer than what we had this morning. 70 will be our high tomorrow in spite of the clouds that we're expecting. Then we get a little bit better clearing and we'll get warmer again. So 76 will be the high on Friday. A morning sprinkle will come our way on Saturday, and that will bring our temperatures down for one day. But generally the trend is upward. We're back up again with sunshine on Easter Sunday, 80 degrees, and a little bit warmer on Mondays. In fact, those 2 days will feel pretty much the same. We'll get a little bit cooler, putting us back down into the mid and upper 70s on Tuesday and Wednesday with some clouds and no rain. And your regional forecasts are available on our website at yourcentralvalley.com. So please go check it out there. And the amount of rainfall is, again, going to be disappointing. I mean, that's been not only the theme of the last couple of storms, but the theme of the season has been disappointment as far as rainfall.
I got excited when I saw the clouds Monday and Tuesday, but no, nothing.
Not much.
Just a little chilly.
Yeah.
All right, AJ, thank you. All right, coming up next in sports, show me the money. The Raiders certainly showed it to Derek Carr.
Andrew Martin joining us now with that story. Andrew.
Derek Carr was already rich, and now he has even more money, guys. He agreed to a contract extension today. He'll soon be making more than $40 million a year. The details next in Sports Central.
Many places full of history mark the valley. Join me as I take you on a tour of the people and places that made history right here in our backyard. This week, the story of a short-lived communist collective in the Sierras. On the Map, Thursdays at 6 on Ksee 24.
Accelerated Urgent Care is now offering rapid COVID testing. Receive your COVID-19 results on site in just 10 minutes. That's right, COVID-19 results in just 10 minutes. Accelerated Urgent Care, expert care on your time.
After my first class, I was sold. I loved the teachers, the environment, and it really checked all the boxes for what I was looking for.
Through the Early Start program, reflected what I was learning in nursing school.
They had the flexibility to meet the needs of my family and my lifestyle.
Ohio's commitment to me has showed me that they will help me achieve that degree with clinical opportunities also in California.
Even though I'm from California, I'm proud to be Forever Ohio.
I am so proud to be Forever Ohio.
At Central Floor Supply, we have the floors your home is dreaming of. Waterproof and luxurious carpet that will make your home the envy of the neighborhood. Like our Mohawk Smart Strand, forever clean, exceptionally durable. So before you go to the big box stores, come check us out first. Save time, save money, and save the headaches. For the best in flooring and real customer service, call Central Floor Supply and see why so many people say you gotta go see James.
Accelerated Urgent Care is now offering rapid COVID testing. Receive your COVID-19 results on site in just 10 minutes. That's right, COVID-19 results in just 10 minutes. Accelerated Urgent Care, expert care on your time.
Ksee 24 News is brought to you in part by HR Mobile Services. Now, Sports Central, presented by Toyota.
We're in the middle of what I dreamed of doing. You know, I wanted to be, you know, someone when all is said and done, that my name would be at the top of a lot of lists on some stat sheets and all this kind of stuff. And then I wanted to hold trophies and all that. Well, we haven't done some of those things yet, you know. But I wanted to leave my mark on this organization, and to look back now and say I got 4 more years for that opportunity is exciting for me, because people have trusted me all this time, you know.
As soon as Davante Adams became a Raider, we assumed an extension for Derek Carr wasn't far behind. And here it is. On Wednesday, Carr and the Raiders agreed on 3 more years for $121.5 million. That's $40.5 million per year, beginning in 2023. This coming season, Carr will earn just under $20 million. That's from the last extension the ex-Bulldog signed back in 2017. So Derek Carr and the Raiders have a new deal. Aaron Judge and the Yankees do not. Right before opening day last week, Judge turned down $213 million. It would have paid the ex-Bulldog about $30.5 million per year. Beginning next year, he's hoping for more. So Judge is betting on himself. He said he's going to play this season out, and he plans to enter free agency. On Wednesday, he hit his first home run of 2022. It came in the 5th inning of the Yankees game against the Blue Jays, and it came right after Anthony Rizzo hit a home run. They went back-to-back. Judge's home run went 413 feet, and it brought the Yankees within 1, 3-2. They would tie the game 3-3 before losing 6-4. Aaron Judge, 2 for 4 in the game, his 3rd multi-hit game this season. In the minors, the Visalia Rawhide stayed hot in Lake Elsinore, specifically Jordan Lawler. 4 hits on Tuesday night, 3 hits on Wednesday night, including his 2nd home run of the season. The Diamondbacks' number 3 prospect is hitting .500 through 5 games. And the Rawhide is 4-1, winning this one 7-2. The series continues on Thursday. Elsewhere in the California League, the Grizzlies continued their series in San Jose. They lost again, 7-3 the final score. Ex-Bulldog E.J. Andrews Jr. was 1 for 2. Merced native Braden Ward was also 1 for 2 with an RBI, a run scored, and 2 walks. Dodgers beat the Twins 7-0. Clayton Kershaw perfect through 7 before being pulled. Giants beat the Padres 2-1, and San Joaquin Memorial wins the Fresno Easter Classic 4-2 over Central. That's your look at sports.
If you don't have a primary care doctor for your family, Premium Urgent Care provides all general health services at multiple Valley locations. Set your appointment online and Premium Urgent Care will serve you quickly for the health of those you love. Get quality care at Premium Urgent Care today.
The adventures go on and on. Follow your adventures with the rugged power of Honda, the brand owners are calling the most fun to drive. Hurry into a local Honda dealer where new vehicles are arriving daily.
At Easter, the world celebrates a risen Savior. Jesus Christ came to this earth to save us from our sins. The Bible says we've all sinned, we've all come short of God's standards, His glory, and the penalty of sin is death. But God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, everlasting life. Maybe you feel you're too dirty. Maybe you feel you're too guilty, that God cannot forgive you. He will forgive you if you're willing to put your faith and trust in His Son, Jesus Christ. He died for your sins, and God raised Him to life. And He'll come into your heart right now. If you just pray this prayer, just say, God, I've sinned. I'm sorry. Forgive me. I believe Jesus is your Son. I'd like to invite Him to come into my heart. I want to trust Him as my Savior from this day forward forever. Amen. If you prayed that prayer, call that number right now that's on the screen. God bless you and happy Easter.
Our dedicated chocolatiers handcraft our special delights. Hand-dipped, hand-finished, hand-wrapped. When you see homemade on the label, now you know exactly what it means. Stafford's Chocolates, Mama Ganache, and the Swedish Candy Factory.
If you don't have a primary care doctor for your family, Premium Urgent Care provides all general health services at multiple Valley locations. Set your appointment online and Premium Urgent Care will serve you quickly for the health of those you love. Get quality care at Premium Urgent Care today.
Now YourCentralValley.com, pros who know.
At United Health Centers, you will find quality care in medical, dental, optometry, chiropractic, urgent care services, and more. Visit us today for all of your healthcare needs.
For more expert advice, go to YourCentralValley.com/pros who know. This is KC24 News at 11.
Millions of anxious transit riders breathing a sigh of relief tonight after word of an arrest in yesterday's terrifying rush hour subway shooting spree in Brooklyn, New York. Roughly 30-hour manhunt ended this afternoon with Frank Robert James being taken into custody on the streets of Manhattan's East Village neighborhood. Investigators now combing through James's social media posts looking for a motive. They say he detonated a smoke bomb inside the subway car, then started firing into the crowd. All 10 shooting victims are expected to survive. Frank James will make his first court.
President Biden authorizing another $800 million for security assistance in Ukraine. That includes helicopters, artillery systems, ammunition, and armored vehicles. The Pentagon saying ongoing U.S. assistance is urgently needed to combat the Russian invasion.
The United States has now committed more than $3.2 billion in security assistance to Ukraine since the beginning of the Biden administration, including approximately $2.6 billion since the beginning of their unprovoked invasion on February 24th. The United States also continues to work with its allies and partners to identify and provide Ukraine with additional capabilities that aren't in our stocks.
The president spoke with Ukrainian President Zelensky for about an hour before making the announcement on additional security assistance. The U.S. is also getting more reports of low morale and frustration among Russian forces in Ukraine.
Well, coming up next, sheriff's deputies pulling over drivers to deliver something other than a ticket.
And the timing couldn't be better as the Easter holiday approaches.
If you're living with chronic pain, it's time to call Innovative Medical Center.
I created Innovative Medical Center to help people regain their quality of life without the use of drugs or surgeries.
Discover a holistic approach to treating pain. Call Innovative Medical Center today.
Here we go now.
Your Visalia Rawhide are back at Valley Strong Ballpark for the 2022 season.
Here we go now.
Family, fun, affordable entertainment.
See your Rawhide take on the San Jose Giants at Valley Strong Ballpark April 19th to the 24th.
At rawhidebaseball.com.
The Jeep Celebration event is kicking off at family-owned and operated Fresno Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Fiat. And if you're looking for fun, if you're looking for adventure, or if we've got you covered. Get mud-slinging deals like this on a great selection of the most awarded SUVs on the planet. Jeep.
We look forward to earning your business. Come join our family today.
Fresno Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Fiat on Blackstone between Bullard and Sierra.
I looked at our electric bills and they keep going up and up and up.
There are times where we have rolling blackouts.
And so I knew that there was going to have to be something I could do. One of my friends highly recommended Semper Solaris.
Semper Solaris is Fresno's local veteran-owned solar and battery storage contractor.
We just said we've got to be different. We got to keep our word. We have to do the right things for the customers.
Work hard and keep your word. And that's what we do every single day. The savings are better than what I expected.
My last bill was actually a credit.
From my experience, I would say I would go with Semper. Don't go looking all around.
I said, I want the A-team. I want the best of the best. This was the A-team.
From the beginning to the end, they have been the best.
Semper offers new AC systems with a lifetime warranty and new roofs with a 50-year warranty. Go solar American style with Semper Solaris. 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2023. Get the federal 26% solar and battery tax credit. $500 downloadable coupon. $500 off for military first responders and healthcare workers. Call now or visit SemperSolaris.com.
First Steps Recovery Outpatient Program really is just that, the first steps. First Steps meant starting my recovery from home.
First Steps meant not having to choose between my job or recovering.
First Steps Recovery offered online programs that fit my schedule.
I'm so grateful for the First Steps Recovery Outpatient.
Needs help recovering from addiction? Call First Steps Recovery today and take the first step.
First Steps Recovery saved my life.
Attention back pain sufferers.
If you've had an injury that resulted in a bulged or herniated disc and were told that you needed surgery, you need to come in and try the NDS method.
Our NDS or no disc surgery can help you avoid surgery. Call Innovative Medical Center today.
Well, finally tonight, usually when you get pulled over by an officer, the next thing that follows is a citation. Usually, but drivers in one county in Michigan got something unexpected, and it was just in time for the Easter holiday. They got a ham. The Roscommon County Sheriff's Office is behind the Hams Not Tickets campaign. The hams were donated by a local church, and officers are delivering some of them to families in need, but some are reserved to surprise unsuspecting drivers who are undoubtedly concerned they've committed a traffic violation.
People cry, some people are overjoyed. They're always very grateful.
Didn't know what it was at first. I thought I was getting a ticket and I got a ham. I'm a little, it's very, very kind. Thank you very much.
The Sheriff's Department also surprises drivers during the winter season with turkeys not tickets during the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. I have never been given a ham when I've been pulled over. I wish they'd do that here. Yeah, never. But hey, it's going to be a good day on Easter Sunday to go.
Oh, yeah. Anything you want to do outside, this will be the day to do it. So a lot of sunshine on Easter with a high of 80. In the meantime, a little up and a little down depending on some cloudiness and a potential for sprinkles on early Saturday morning. That's really our next best chance at any kind of showers whatsoever.
Easter egg hunts will be safe.
Yeah, on Easter, you bet.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Years of exclusive coverage inside Fresno State. A tradition for Bulldog fans with stories and moments that matter most. The Bulldog Insider, Sunday on Ksee 24. Sponsored by Fashion Furniture.
Toyota's Make It Yours sales event is on now, with new Toyotas arriving daily.
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine.
Get low financing on the all-new redesigned Tundra, or take on the toughest terrain in your new Tacoma. Toyota Safety Sense and Toyota Care comes standard.
I said, are you gonna be my girl?
It's time to make a new Toyota yours. Toyota, let's go place.
The Lennox. No matter what's happening outside with the Lennox Ultimate Comfort System, it's always perfect inside. Not just perfect air, perfectly tuned to your home air. And operates whisper quiet.
The Lennox Ultimate Comfort System. Perfect air, fully realized. Don't you wish everything was perfect? Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Call Donald P. Dick Air Conditioning today.
Easter weekend is here, and More Furniture for Less has the massive savings you've been waiting for.
Shop early for special savings and the best selection of all our doorbuster deals and newest arrivals.
The furniture you want for every room in your home is all in stock and on sale.
But don't wait. These savings won't last. Preview all Easter savings online at morefurniture.com.
You miss it, don't you? The news.
Aren't you tired of all that noise?
Well, it's time to come back. Come back to something different.
I've never seen anything like this, Ashley.
Come back to the stories all the others ignore. We bring you a teenager who has been found safe. Come back to a place where your family, your kids,
your freedom really matter.
We are so much greater than the things that divide us.
Come back to the news.
News Nation.
News for all America.
You're different from the other kids. You're so mature.